Ugh, man, I hate a good pizza hangover. But what I don't hate is creating I-beams for Cyclops. So at the request of Comictopia New Mexico, check out all his channels on YouTube and everywhere else all over the social medias. I'm going to show you how I did it. Cue the intro. Well, hello there, everybody. I'm Photo Dave, and this is Toypixx. And whether or not this is your first or 100th time on the channel, Toypixx is all about action figure photography. So on here, I talk about action figures. I talk about photography. I talk about tips and tricks, what I do. I talk about why I collect certain figures. I talk a little bit about the figure industry. And today's video is going to be all about a little bit of Photoshop tips and tricks tutorial type thing when it comes to I-beams for characters like Cyclops. So, if that kind of stuff sounds cool to you, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And, I'll explain the whole pizza hangover thing as I'm working on the photo so you can hear what I'm talking about there. It's rough. Man, it's rough. Anywho, let's get to it. Okay, gang, here we go. Let's show you how to do these I-beams. Now, first off, I'm going to start with kind of the final image here. Whoo, there we go. Because I learned years ago that I'm actually kind of a terrible teacher, I tried showing somebody how to make stuff with just a white background, how to cut out stuff so that there was just a white background for a product image type shot. And she was having trouble with it, and that was annoying her. And of course, because she couldn't get it done, it was annoying me because it was work, all that stuff. Well, then I looked back at the sheet I had given her as far as the step-by-step, and I hadn't done a very good job at all explaining it. So I realized, okay, I'm not really good at that part of anything. So this time I decided, let's just kind of reverse engineer it so I make sure I don't miss anything. So, we're going to start doing that. First off, here he is, that's Cyclops with just the little I-beam piece that came with him. Now, the first thing I did was I added just a little bit of this red layer, and what that is, you see a little bit of fuzziness there. What I did was I created just with this red color, and I added a feather. I couldn't tell you exactly what the feather was. It looks like maybe it was somewhere in the 10 to 20 range, so that it was kind of fuzzy on the edge. So it was just a shape I created using the lasso tool here. Just phew, phew, phew. And there you go. There was that. No big thing. And then I set it to screen. So there's that part. The next part, I had pretty much copied it, but this time I also added an outer glow. So what I did there, I kept it, let's see, an 85% on normal as far as the blend mode is concerned. And the size, I went huge, went 250. The spread, I just went 1. It wasn't much. Now I know that a lot of this, if you've never played with Photoshop, you're kind of going, what the crap is he talking about? But don't worry, I'll try to explain it a little better as we go. This is what's called an outer glow layer. And so messing with the spread, you'll see that it goes out further the further I go, like that, right? Now I have it at 1 just to give it a little bit. Now you'll see the size here. It just kind of sucks it back down to what it was. So you get that combination of the two, and that's what I ended up with. A little bit of a fuzziness going on, a little bit of good stuff with Psych there. That was giving me close to the effect I wanted. but there was still something. Like, I didn't like how this was down here where the regular plastic I-beam met with the Photoshop work I was doing. So then, oh, and I made this layer hard light, and that's what's called a layer style. If I just left it normal, it wouldn't have looked much different, to be honest. Let's see. Okay, and next, I went up to a layer I called pink. So it was just a line going through here, just a different color with a little bit of pink going on, probably using the same stuff. Using an effect, I used an outer glow on that. This time I kept the opacity at 75%, spread at 0, and the size at 54. So nothing too crazy here. It was just a slightly different color. Kept the blend mode at normal. So there was nothing nuts. But I did want a little bit of a fade here on the outer glow again so that it blended into this background area a little bit. Ooh, and then there was the white beam. So with the white beam, excuse me, okay, I left that at normal as well. Another white, and this time I knew, okay, I needed to blend this in here a little bit better. So what I did was I went again to the outer glow. And this time, just made the spread 2, made the size 29, kept the opacity at 75, kept it normal. So it was no big thing on this one. For the most part, what I did here was a whole lot of outer glow and just a little bit of fuzziness in that first layer. So it wasn't that it was this insanely difficult process that I did. It was just something I came up with while playing. And that's probably the biggest thing with Photoshop when it comes to any of this, is what I do is I just play. That's another reason that I have a hard time putting together these tips and tricks, is because a lot of it is instinctive. I've been playing with Photoshop since '99, so it's been a while. So a lot of it I'm just running on instinct. And a lot of it is really just sitting down and saying, hey, I wonder what happens if I do this, or I wonder what happens if I do this. And there's, with Photoshop, what you'll learn the more you play with it is there's just millions of different ways to do things. So it just ends up being kind of, I wouldn't say an exercise in futility, but there's so many different ways to do all this stuff that you'll end up coming up with your own way if you play up with Photoshop enough. But I know people had requested this, and I wanted to make sure that you kind of saw what I did. But to be honest, I couldn't put together a step-by-step while I was doing it, because to get to this point, I was just playing. So that's it for that one, folks. Comment below, let me know if this helped you out at all, and let me know if you've noticed any other effects on any other pictures I put together that you'd kind of like to know how to do. I have no problem showing you how to swing them. I'm going to leave an Amazon affiliate link for Cyclops below. Remember, if you just click that link and you don't even need Cyclops, but maybe you need socks or toothpaste, maybe a bit of underwear or toilet paper, I don't care. Clicking on that link and getting your stuff through Amazon via that helps out the channel, so it's much appreciated. I'm also going to throw down there an Adobe affiliate link for Photoshop. Photoshop's one of those things that used to be pretty cost prohibitive for just your normal person, for your average Joe that didn't use it all the time for work. Let's face it, as a designer, Photoshop was pretty much the cost of doing business, but now toy photographer hobbyists can get involved with Photoshop and have a lot of fun learning how to play. And hey, I like practical effects as the next guy, but when you got all kinds of energy effects and energy weapons from all these different comic book characters, sometimes, believe it or not, it's just flat out easier to be able to put those effects together in Photoshop. Whew! So yeah, that's what I've got for this one, folks. Thank you a ton for watching. It's always appreciated. Don't forget to click subscribe, leave a comment, like, dislike the video. That helps the old algorithm. Share it if you feel like it. And hey, as always, have fun and happy snapping. See ya.